So the Seahawks need some big needs in the draft. But what are they going to get? And what should they get? I'm going to be going over that. But anyways, what's going on, guys? My name is Antonio, and this is the All Around Sports Cast. I'm your host, Antonio. Today, I'm going over my top 5 Seahawk position needs in the 2024 NFL Draft. This was a long time coming, so now that free agency is kind of surpassed, now we're looking ahead to the NFL Draft, which is only a month away. So it's getting down to almost there. And remember, I will be doing a live stream of the draft. So hopefully the Seahawks can make some big moves. But here's my top 5 list of the positions needed. Starting us off with number 5. A position I think that the Seahawks need to assess here. Hold on. My marker ain't working at the moment. I'm not sure if anyone else can see this, but I have listed tight end. Now, it might be a little white because my marker is not working at the moment, but tight end I have on here because of the recent signings that we had. The Seahawks re-signed Noah Fant and also signed Pharaoh Brown, while also signing, I just got new markers, so I'm going to grab one of them. They they don't have a third guy. So they need a third guy to get in there for the tight end position. Primarily, I'm looking at like blocking tight ends. I have a listed of 3 top tight ends that I have on my list. One of them being, because we probably know Brock Bowers is going to be taken in the first round. Some point in the first round. Some people have projected the Seahawks to select him, which I don't think would be a bad idea. That's why I have him at number 1. Number 2, I would have Jared Wiley out of TCU. He's a great player. I think he would suit very well with this team. And then the last one is Cade Stover out of Ohio State. I think he would suit perfectly with this team. I watched him at his time in Ohio State. So if this does happen, it will be interesting, but until then, we'll have to wait and see. Coming in at number 4, I have safeties. Now, safeties, it's kind of been rebuilt with now Rashawn Jenkins coming over from the Jaguars, but it's only Julian Love and excuse me. It's only Julian Love and Rashawn Jenkins at the moment. So the Seahawks need to go after a safety to kind of help cover that secondary. I think the cornerback position is already competitive enough. So go out there and get a safety. So I have 3 listed safeties on my list. I have Cameron Kitchens, who I really like the way he plays. His play style kind of reminds me of Earl Thomas a little bit, just from my perspective, because he can go up there, he can read plays, he can snuff plays out with the snap of his fingers, and he can just go out there and just pound someone. Another one is Tyke Smith from Georgia, which I normally watch a lot because you can tell the Georgia hat here. But this guy in Tyke Smith, I think is an underrated safety. I think he's going to excel at the next level. So hopefully the Seahawks can get him. And then the last one I have on my list is Sione Vake, a man out of Utah. He has been a massive key for the Utah Utes defense in Utah. I know that because I've watched them for a load of years. And Sione Vake, I think, is going to excel at the next level as well as along with the other guys. But I think that's a major key in this game, in this draft. So hopefully they can go out there and get a safety. But number 3, I have a whole section listed here, is a section I think needs to be assessed. The D-line, the defensive line, because I know they re-signed Leonard Williams, and they also signed in Jonathan Hankins, who I think is going to be really good at stopping the run. I believe they do need to go after a rookie in this draft to help get up there and stop the run. Because I've looked at some of these guys at edge rusher, defensive tackle, and then loads of other positions. It's loaded with so many guys. For the edge rushing position, I have 3 guys listed. I'll have Dallas Turner on here because he's probably going to go top 10 from what I'm getting. I have Jared Verse, who I've watched him at Florida State. He is really good. I believe he can be a massive key for this team. At number 2, I have Chop Robinson. He's out of Penn State, which lots of people have him projected to go to San Francisco or Los Angeles, which I'm hoping definitely doesn't happen. But because I know that brother is going to be a baller in the NFL. And then the last one I have is Breon Trice out of Washington. This Breon Trice, I don't even know if I'm saying it right. This guy is amazing. I have watched Trice during his time at Washington, of course, when they made the national championship run. I think he would be a big key for this defense. But moving down to the defensive line, the defensive tackles, I think Byron Murphy and Tre'Davious Sweat are 2 top guys. They played at Texas together, and they have been so powerful. Another guy, of course, that has been mentioned is Jerzair Newton, which I like to call him Johnny Newton. But this guy, I think he would be a big key to help stop the run. But, of course, we will see what happens and transpires throughout that section. At number 2, I have a most needed position, linebackers. Now, linebackers we need because of the loss of Bobby Wagner to the Commanders and Jordan Brooks to the Miami Dolphins. Now, they did go out there and sign Jerome Baker and Terrell Dodson, who I think were 2 really good ideas. I didn't even know Terrell Dodson or Jerome Baker were even available. So, that just shows what I know. But linebacker, I think, could be a really good key for this defense because there's so many good linebackers out there in this year's draft. There's Jeremiah Trotter, who I have listed in there. There's Peyton Wilson, and also along with Cedric Gray, who I think are 3 really good guys. I've watched each and every one of these guys. They have one thing in common. They can all stop the run. They can get up there easily and snuff out plays. And they can even do well in the secondary, which I think is primarily suited, which is primarily the concern. Outside linebackers that can be in the secondary, which I think they're called inside linebackers, but I'm not sure. But I do believe that is a line to be concerned of for the linebacker position. But number 1, I think the most needed position for the Seattle Seahawks in this year's NFL draft, O-line. Now, O-line I put on here because of the last year's results. The offensive line was not great last year. I mean, it wasn't good, but it wasn't great. You had loads of guys getting hurt. You had Phil Haynes, who is now out of there. He got hurt almost all the time. And then you got rookies. You got young guys in like Charles Cross, Abraham Lucas, and Anthony Bradford. I think they need to add in another guy in there that can help snuff out the run, that can help get in there and protect Geno Smith, because they need a run block passer. Because they need a little bit of both. Because Zach Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker in the same backfield is going to be interesting to see. Because I've said it on multiple occasions of last year. They need to run the ball more. And we need to see that because Seahawks are built on runners. They had like Sean Alexander. They had Marshawn Lynch. And loads of guys that were legends at the running back position. And then as far as like offensive weapons, you need to be able to pass to them accurately without being pressured. Especially with Nick Bosa in the division. You got to protect him. You need to get him out of the game, which I personally really liked what they did with Detroit on how they were able to put Aiden Hutchinson out of that game in week 2 of the NFL last season. If they can keep out the best defenders in the defensive line for the opponent team, they have a real chance because the primary issue has been sacks for this team. Geno Smith is not good under pressure. We know that, and I know that because I've watched this team ever since Geno Smith came in, and then also a little while before that. Because Geno Smith, from what I've noticed, when he's pressured, he tries to play hero ball. If they can get the run game going, that would help. And they need guys out there that can help that can help in that run game. Help get runners out and get them free, get open gaps. And then when you trick it up, which you should do, you should play trickery plays all game long. You need to run those trick plays. You need to make the defense confused. You need to run. You need to pass. You need to change it up. You need to do some trick plays. Put in flea flickers. Maybe even in like a Seattle special. Like when Philly did in Super Bowl 52, I believe. And my point is, if the Seahawks can, I've always felt that they are one thing away from being a tough team. One thing, I have no idea what it is. Probably nor does anybody else. I've always felt they're one thing away. And if they can find that one thing, I think that this team could be dangerous in years to come. Now, of course, I'm not expecting anything playoff-like this season, but maybe in the future. Because, remember, Pete Carroll was a defensive coach when he was at USC. And then he came over to Seattle. And Mike McDonald's a defensive coach. He's a defensive coach. This team I could see easily being dangerous in a couple years. So, anyways, I'm going to end this video here. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on the notification bell for day-to-day updates on my videos and live streams. I'll catch you all in the next one, and I'll catch you all in the draft. So long for now.